welcome to a very interesting and special video I have for you today, guys. A lot of people this weekend are talking about the core event that happened in North America last weekend, and as they should, it was a very interesting event. Android 16 took it against Vegeta Trunks in second place. But while everyone's talking about that event, I decided that the Italian regional first, second, and third place decks were it was quite an interesting turnout of events to see what the top three decks were. So I decided it had to be looked at, and funny enough, the top three decks were all the same color, all red leaders. So if you're a red player, yeah, I'm scared. But we're gonna jump on into it. We're going to try on start my review of the U7 Goku deck that came in third place. So this was played by, and apologies for butchering your name, but Mirko Gurin. That's my pronunciation of it anyway. Sorry to third place. Congratulations and apologies to this man. But here's his U7 Goku list. And it, at first sight, looks like your standard U7 Goku list. The standard build, or what you see mostly, is the Jiren Unison played with the Videl counterplay. It's a tough one to play through, but he opted for the Piccolo Junior, descendant of the King Unison. Probably the best red, definitely the best red Unison, arguably the best Unison in the game just for its auto alone. But you know, making you be able to blow up a 1500 power battle card every time a counter is used, that's just super powerful at times. Especially, it can be matchup dependent, but it can be strong and has rejuvenate and draws you a card every turn. So, and obviously this guy completely negates these cards. So, so that's why he's probably playing it, because testing the opposition and freezes reinforcements and chills reinforcements. I think that card is called. I can't remember. But yeah, it's strong Unison. Back to the deck. New ruler Yamcha. Funny enough, resolved renewed. This card was being played more than this dude. This dude was almost cut out of red decks 2 months ago, as you'd see for this boy. But I think he's not very situational. He's quite situational. So I think people have decided that both is good. Double strike there. It's quite surprised this guy's made it into the list. I saw him being cut out a couple of months ago, because people said that 2 energy was a lot to pay, and it still is in some ways. But if you can get him off, it's huge. Double strike or dual attack. Sorry, it's dual attack. But he gains 5,000 and he sensu beans your leader. So strong boy. Also a bit different as you're seeing the promo cards. This guy and this Android 18. This guy is great searcher for your Unison, and this dude is just great for combo power. Also, it's great for getting more U7s into your drop area and being able to awaken faster, and also being able to get a lot of your dudes live faster. Good board removal with Kaioken. We just spoke about Resolve Renewed. Testing, we all know. Violent Race, probably the best full gate in the game, and Afterimage is played pretty much in every U7 build just because your Sparking 5 goes off pretty quickly. Look at the side deck real quick. Another copy of Resolve Renewed, another copy of Violent Rays, Realm of the Gods, Ultra Instinct, great red staples, just all good red staples really. Another this is a great way. Essentially your Protector of the People version for red, imposing presence. You know, pretty much it ends your turn because you can't really attack your opponent when you're under this. You know, interestingly enough, he's playing this Unison. I haven't seen this Unison in a long time, to be honest with you guys. That doesn't mean he's a bad card. But I'm surprised you're not seeing the Videl in here. You know, 2 Videls or something, because he is a 3-cost Unison. So you think if you want to swap strategies, you do that. But I'm also quite surprised you're not seeing the, maybe I'm blind here, but the Vegeta Unison isn't being played in here. The 4-1, just because that's great against a lot of decks. This format, Vegeta Trunks, U7 Goku, Vulgar? No, not Vulgar. But you know, Current Tower Secret Medicine. This card is being slapped on let me tell you. And this card you're going to see a lot more of, especially going into Universal Warriors format. I think this is a very strong card. Essentially, since you've been your leader, plus 5,000 power for the turn. You can't underestimate that. And ignoring Barry, you can minus 5,000 power. So you can minus 5,000 power. If you're in a mirror matchup, you can minus 5,000 from this boy. You can minus 5,000 from him. And you think, oh, what's the big deal? It's like, it will cost your opponent cards to be able to combo, because if your leader's awakened, you want to get this dual attack off. And if you see at 14k, you're going to have to combo 2 cards with both attacks. Which is probably not the most ideal situation to be in, especially if you're wanting to watch your hand size. Obviously, Koitsukai, I'm surprised he's not maining this, because it's great against pretty much almost every color now. So it really stops your opponent from being able to counterplay you and play a lot of battle cards. So I'm surprised he's maining it, but the results don't lie. He finished third, so congratulations to third place, Mirko. Apologies for ripping your name apart. And we want to then move on to a deck that I absolutely love, King Piccolo. I've played at a number of events. I've had success with it quite frequently, and I'm so happy to see it back in the competitive meta, because I think it's the most fun red deck in terms of the fact that you've got various different ways of playing it. You can play it more control, you can play it heavy aggro, ultra aggro. It's just so much fun. I really fell in love with this deck when it came out, and to see it still in the meta makes me super happy. Obviously, it doesn't pay well that for the upcoming ban list. I'm scared. As I said earlier, I don't know if this deck will survive the ban list. I don't know if this Unison will survive the ban list. But here's hoping that Bandai will be lenient for at least one more format. But second place, congratulations to Stefano. Getting his results while he can. So you initially look at it and you think that's your standard King Piccolo, your Demon Clans, your Unison, your new ruler, your time to fight. I don't play him that often, just because now he's a great card and you should play him. But when I play this dude, I never draw him when I can use him, and I keep drawing him or seeing him in a matchup that he'll never be played in. Obviously, that was but I was playing him. Maybe now that we have best of one pre-siding, I'll put him back in. But just playing webcam events, webcam locals that didn't have side decks, I would just see him like against guys that constantly remove my board. I'm surprised he's not playing 2 of this. I can't tell you the amount of games where adding that plus 5,000 power, consistently seeing this card has won me the game, got me that little edge to finish the game off. But one card, but playing at 1, maybe either he just couldn't find the space in his 55 card deck, which is quite big main deck, considering you need to see your Namekian Demon Clan cards. Yeah, this is a great searcher. You need to obviously play him, and he works well with your time to fight. Then you got this. I think that's a perfect ratio. Is 3 of this dude, because as you can see, he's unique, and you can only activate the counter skill on copies of this card for the turn. So even if someone removes him, you can't use him a second time. Yamcha Merciless Barrage is a great card. People were cutting him, as I might have mentioned earlier, for Resolved Renewed, but now he's back in because he's a lot less situational. He can be done the moment you got your Unison on board, and he's mostly going to be used to protect your Unison. Testing the Opposition, great card, pretty much perfect for this deck because it becomes live almost immediately because you're only on 6 life. Now this is the big shocker, is this guy. Not necessarily that he's being played because he's great in the deck, because you immediately get 1 free combo from your life with the leader card, but just simply because he's playing it at 3. I've never seen it being played at such a high amount in this deck. I usually see it between 1 and 2, especially because it's you have to use 2 energy to play him. But it's actually not the worst in this deck, because I actually, thinking about it, do find myself, because you get so much free play on your turn and your opponent's turn, you kind of just a lot of times leave 2 or 3 energy open. Quite frequently I've actually hard played Testing the Opposition. So actually, seeing this now, it's kind of making me think maybe I should give a Divine Presence and even Evil Dictator another try. But that's possible, and he's playing 2 Wolfang Fist. I'm seeing this card more and more. This card seems to come in and out, but it's a great card, minus 15k from yeah, your leader card. Choose up to one attacking card or leader card, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 1500 power, and comes for free with the unison. This guy pretty much ruins U7's day, because of its -4 or -2. And it ruins a lot of decks, to be honest. The fact that your opponent can't play battle cards using skills until the end of your opponent's next turn. So they can't, the moment you put them down, they can't Vidal you, they can't Topo you, they can't Oceanus you, they can't, even on their turn, they can't start most of their plays. So Vegito is definitely a top tier unison. If you get to turn 4, he's worth splashing all your energy into, especially in this kind of deck where you get a lot of free play and your testing can come from your life, so he's super strong. The best red SCR, no surprise he's playing this. He's got triple strike, deflect, dual attack, so you can essentially put your opponent from 7 life down and win the game. Yeah, if your opponent's on 7 life, you can win the game with this guy. That's just absolute mental. Likelihood of that happening, probably not going to happen, but triple strike, dual attack, and burning your opponent for 1. And a board clear. You can't ask for any more from turn 4. So turn 4, you're really going to be playing one of these. Essentially, if you can win the game, you're going to be playing this dude. And if you're afraid, if you know your opponent has like an Oceanus in hand, you're going to be playing this dude. I'm surprised with the super combo ratio as well. The results don't lie, and it worked out well for him. And this is great for removing things like Dark Mass Sane, which can be very annoying to play through. But obviously I'm kind of surprised, considering in a 55 card deck you'd want to see your Demon Clans and Namekians as much as possible, but it worked out for him. But that was great. You got your double strike. I'm surprised this is only at 1. This is great card, bailed me out of a number of situations. Realm of the God, Ultra Instinct at 2. Good card again. Everyone knows what it does. This I'm surprised is mainly because it's mostly great against blue, but no reason not to play it. It's got double strike, so if your opponent's on 2 life, you can win the game with a 20k attack. But if your opponent's on 1 life and they use their dim magic, they can't use your dim magic, because you can take a life and deal 1 damage. It's a really solid card, but you have to tap 4 again, which has got a lot of cards you have to tap 4 for, which is quite surprising in a deck build that looks ultra aggro. The fact that he's playing this and Evil Dictator, he's definitely looking to win the game around turn 4 because he's got so many options for turn 4, but turn 4 is big for this guy. Freeze Death Ball, Secret Identity, and Bardock, so he's not really what most people are choosing between these two, but in a deck like this where you can get a lot of stuff into your drop area because of people will be trying to clear your Demon Clans as fast as possible, or as much as possible, from the board. So you will have a lot of cards in your drop to be able to possibly bring these guys out twice. But also this dude can win you the game in the current new rules. If you're on the same life at the end of turn, you can, you see 30 seconds left on the clock, bring it out Secret ID and warp as many of your opponent's battle cards as you can. That's strong. The counter is being played. That's probably the shock of all of this. It's still a good card, and if it comes off, it can be devastating to your opponent, but it's situational, and that is why it's in his side deck. Then you got Black Mass Sane. I called him Dark Mass Sane earlier, but this card is pretty good for dealing with this dude because he can be annoying to deal with. Obviously, he's a stable in the side. Resolve Renewed, great board removal here, and then probably the best Floodgate Red has. 4 of him, he's went all in on Violent Raids, and it worked out. So congratulations to second place, Stefano, I believe. And then first place, what do you think it's going to be? It's a red deck. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. Guess down below in the comment section, because unless you looked at the results or already know, this is going to catch you off guard. Cooler Mill. Now, we've seen Mill really finding its way back into the meta recently. It's a strong choice for color, being red, because you get so many red staples. But Cooler Mill, I think, is the first mill deck aside from Android 18, which we're not going to count because that caused an emergency errata list. That and the silver bullets for black, or slaying bullets or something like that. Shenron card that was a bit nuts, but pre-errata. But this list is pretty much your standard Cooler Mill for the first part. You're obviously going to play the super combo. It's a great combo. Tyrannical Assault is one of the best red-blue cards, arrival cards ever made. Yeah, so your standard stuff, playing the promo card, it's really cool. Really good mill card, Reality Bender Janemba. Your ruler, why not? This card I'm seeing this card pop up more and more in red builds, and it's a really good card. So I expect to see this a lot more than usual. People have started remembering that this card exists. Radiant Saints is an interesting choice, but it's a red-blue SCR, so why not? And it kind of helps you with your strategy because you can tap 2, and at the end of a battle in which this card was used in the combo from your hand, you may play this card from your drop area, so that's pretty strong. If you don't, choose up to 4 of your opponent's battle cards, place them at the bottom of the owner's deck, and remove this card from the drop area from the game. Choose up to 4 of your opponent's battle cards, place them at the bottom of their owner's deck. So that's great removal. It kind of is a bit counterintuitive if you're trying to mill them and suddenly you put 4 cards at the bottom of their deck. So I don't think he's using this that often. Maybe if he just wants to clear the board. I'd have to see it in practice, but it's got double strike critical, so it's a strong SCR. Resolve Renewed is 2. Then you got your Yamcha. These two, I mean, for 2 characters that don't like each other in the anime, they are very much played together. They couldn't be any closer in red. Sensu Beam, blue staple. Realm of the Gods, Ultra Instinct, freeze Step Ball, After Image. Violent Rays, 3 Wolfang Fists, but of course if you want to mill your opponent, if your win con is to mill them, you're wanting to stop as many attacks as possible. And he obviously wants to protect his unison. And this is great. You're going to see this in most red decks, especially because turn 4 is so huge in this format. So yeah, that's Cooler Mill. Congratulations to number 1 Roberto. And then looking at his hand, he was very much, or side deck is very anti hand rip, which I don't know how much of a problem that is. I haven't really seen hand rip, but maybe it's a huge thing in Italy. And again, here's Corn Tower Secret Medicine. I'm telling you, man, this card was slept on for a long time, but we're starting to see it more and more. But yeah, Deborah obviously stops hand rip. This allows you to draw. This stops hand rip. But it is card draw 1 card, and cards in your hand can be returned to your deck by your opponent's skills for the turn. So yeah, devastating to hand rip strategies. Rest in peace, Green. I'm surprised Green is that much of a worry about. His side deck only has 14 cards as well, so if that's true, or he didn't forget a card, that's a little bit more impressive. He chose not to do that. But yep, that is Cooler Mill. Put a like on the video if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new, or if you haven't subscribed, if you've been watching my content, please subscribe. Every subscriber helps. Push to 300 subs, please. That would be awesome if we could do it. We're almost there. I think we're only like 14 subs away, possibly. Maybe I'm 24. I can't remember what the amount of subs I have, to be honest. But yeah, leave a like on the video, comment down below, share with your friends, and have an awesome day. Goodbye.